This is one of those nights I keep trying to forget, but every time it rains after dark, it comes right back, hits me like it just happened. My name's Tyler. I'm 22 years old. I live just outside of Tyler, Texas. Yeah, I know. Tyler from Tyler. I've heard every joke. I'd been out of work for about 3 weeks. Lost my warehouse job after a round of layoffs. Money was getting tight. And honestly, I was in a bad headspace. Couldn't sleep right. Couldn't sit still. Just this restless energy that wouldn't burn off. So when my buddy Caleb suggested night fishing, I said yes before he even finished the sentence. There were 4 of us. Me and Caleb, his girlfriend Bree, and our friend Damon, who drove. We headed out to Lake Branson, a reservoir about 40 minutes east, surrounded by nothing but pine trees and old county roads with no streetlights. We got there around 9:30, set up on the south bank, near the concrete boat ramp. Caleb had this fishing app on his phone. It beeped every 90 seconds. Some kind of interval timer for checking lines. That beep matters later. The rain started light around 10. Just a mist, really. The kind that makes everything smell like wet earth. Frogs going crazy in the reeds. Crickets filling in the gaps. It felt peaceful. About 45 minutes in, Bree heard it first. A woman screaming. Across the water, far side of the reservoir. We all froze. The scream came again, high and sharp, like someone in real pain. Caleb stood up. "We need to go help her," he said. Damon was already pulling out his phone. No signal, not even one bar. "The access road loops to the north bank," Bree said. "We can cut through the tree line on foot." Nobody argued. We grabbed 2 flashlights and started walking. The trail along the water was muddy, rain picking up, branches snapping under our feet. The scream kept coming, every 30 seconds or so, getting louder as we moved closer, and that's when Caleb's phone beeped. His 90-second timer. In the silence after the beep, something clicked in my head. "Wait," I said. Everyone stopped. We stood there, rain tapping on our jackets. The scream came again. I counted in my head. 30 seconds. Again. 30 seconds. Again. Same pitch. Same duration. Same exact distance. Like a recording on a loop. "That's not a person," I whispered. Caleb looked at me. "What do you mean?" "Listen to the timing. It's exact. Every 30 seconds. We stood there long enough for 2 more cycles. He heard it too. Mechanical. Perfect intervals. No human screams like that. "We need to go back," Damon said. His voice had changed. Tight. Then we heard it. Footsteps. Behind us. Not on the trail. In the trees. Moving parallel. Matching our pace. Bree grabbed Caleb's arm. "Someone's out there," she whispered. Damon aimed his flashlight at the tree line. Nothing. Just rain and black pines. But the footsteps didn't stop. We turned around. Started walking fast toward the boat ramp. The footsteps followed. Faster now. Twigs cracking in the dark. Bree was crying. Caleb pulled her forward. We broke into a run. All 4 of us. Slipping on wet ground. Flashlight beams bouncing wild. We hit the gravel lot, and I stopped so hard. Damon ran into me. The cars were gone, both of them. The parking lot was empty, just gravel and rain. And on the ground where Damon's car had been, broken glass, glittering under the flashlight. "No," Damon said. He said it 3 times, walking in circles, staring at nothing. "We have to move," Caleb said. "Whoever's out there is still close." We ran. Down the access road, into the dark. No flashlights. Damon said the lights would make us a target, so we ran blind. Rain hitting our faces. Gravel turning to dirt, turning to pavement. I don't know how long we ran. It felt like forever. Bree's breathing was ragged. My lungs were on fire. We didn't stop until we hit the county road. We walked the shoulder, soaking wet, shaking. Nobody talking, just the sound of rain and our footsteps. About 20 minutes later, headlights behind us. A pickup truck slowed down, pulled over. The driver rolled down his window. Older guy, maybe 50, baseball cap, calm expression. "You folks all right?" he said. "You look like you've been through it." Caleb explained. "Fishing trip, car stolen. We needed a ride to the nearest gas station." The man nodded. "Hop in the back. I'll take you." We climbed in, all four of us in the truck bed. Rain still coming down. I felt my shoulders drop for the first time. But then the man started talking. Through the rear window. What kind of cars were they? Damon told him. "You got a look at anyone out there?" "No." "You call the police yet?" "No service out there." "Good idea to wait then," the man said. "No point calling till you're safe." Something about that bothered me. I looked at Caleb. He was staring at the back of the man's head. Bree leaned toward me. "He hasn't asked where the gas station is," she whispered. "He's just driving." My stomach dropped. She was right. We never told him which direction. He just started going. I banged on the rear window. "Hey, nearest gas station. Where are you taking us?" The man smiled through the glass. "Crossroads station. About 10 minutes up." He was right. There was a station there. I'd seen it on the way in, but I hadn't told him that. The truck pulled into the gas station lot. The man waved through the window. "You take care now," and drove off before we could say thank you or get his plate. We called 911 from the payphone. A deputy arrived in 20 minutes. We told him everything. The screams, the stolen cars, the man in the truck. He wrote it all down, then looked up at us. "We've been tracking something like this," he said. "Different lakes, different counties." He told us how it worked. A waterproof speaker, zip-tied to a branch on the north bank, playing a woman's scream on a loop. People leave their vehicles to investigate. The crew moves in, takes the cars, and the man on the road, he wasn't a stranger. He's their cleanup, the deputy said. Picks up the victims, asks the right questions. "Did you see anyone? Did you call police? What kind of car?" He reports back to the crew, tells them what they're dealing with. I felt the air leave my lungs. He was with them? "We believe so," the deputy said. Same truck description at 3 other incidents. The good news is, they've never hurt anyone. It's a theft operation, cars only, but we haven't caught them yet. They recovered Damon's car, 3 states away, stripped to the frame. Caleb's truck was never found. I think about it every time it rains at night. That woman's scream, playing on a loop to an empty lake, and the man who smiled through the glass, who already knew where we were going before we said a word. "My name is Jenna. I'm 14. Well, I was 14 when this happened. I'm 16 now, and I still don't like driving at night. My mom and I live outside of Altoona, Pennsylvania. Small town, quiet streets, the kind of place where nothing happens until it does. My parents split up the year before. Dad moved to Pittsburgh, so it was just me and Mom, and our dog Bailey, a big German shepherd who barked at everything, and I mean everything, until she didn't. But I'll get to that. It was a Saturday in November. I'd had a gymnastics competition in Harrisburg, about 2 hours east. Mom drove me there and back. We left around 8:30. Farted Pride. The storm hit about 20 minutes in, hard. Rain so heavy the wipers couldn't keep up. The road ahead just a smear of red taillights. Mom had her hands tight on the wheel. That focused look she gets, jaw set, eyes locked on the road. I was in the passenger seat, half asleep, watching the rain hit the windshield, that rhythmic thud of the wipers. That's when I noticed the headlights. Behind us, not too close, but not falling back either, just there, matching our speed exactly. I didn't say anything at first. Lots of cars on this road, same direction, same storm, normal, but 15 minutes later, they were still there, same distance, same brightness. Mom took the exit for Route 22, a smaller road, less traffic. The headlights followed. "Mom, I see them," she said. Her voice was calm, but her knuckles were white on the wheel. We drove another 10 minutes, the rain hammering the roof. Nobody else on the road now, just us and them. Mom pulled into a gas station, one of those small ones. Fluorescent lights buzzing in the rain. She parked near the door, left the engine running. The car behind us pulled in too, parked at the far end of the lot. Lights off, engine running. "Stay in the car," Mom said. She went inside. I watched the other car in the side mirror, dark sedan. I couldn't see the driver through the rain, just a shape behind the windshield. Mom came back 2 minutes later, got in, pulled out of the lot. The sedan followed. Immediately, I told the cashier to call the police, Mom said. Gave them the license plate. "You got the plate?" First thing I did when we parked. We drove faster now. Mom taking turns, she knew. Back roads, shortcuts through neighborhoods. Every turn we made, the headlights followed. Same distance, same patience. We pulled onto our street around 10:15. Mom hit the garage opener, pulled straight in, closed it behind us. Before I even had my seatbelt off, we went inside, locked every door. Mom grabbed her phone. I grabbed Bailey. Then I looked out my bedroom window. The sedan was parked at the end of our street, under the broken streetlight. Lights off, just sitting there. Bailey started barking, not at the front of the house, at the back door. That deep bark she saves for strangers, the one that comes from her chest. Mom called 911, told them everything. "Stay inside," the dispatcher said. "A unit is on the way." Bailey wouldn't stop barking, pacing between the back door and the kitchen window, nails clicking on the tile. Then she went quiet. That was worse. She stood at the back door, ears flat, hackles up. A low growl I'd never heard from her before, staring at the door, like she could see through it. The police arrived in 8 minutes. The sedan was gone by then. They searched the yard, found nothing. But the next morning, Mom found something in the back garden, footprints in the mud, leading from the fence to our back door and back. The officer who took the report said the plate Mom memorized came back to a rental, rented under a fake ID. They never found who it was. Mom installed cameras that week, motion lights, a better lock on the fence. I'm grateful she kept her head, that she got the plate, that she never turned off the engine, that she told me to stay in the car. But here's what I keep thinking about. Bailey stopped barking before the police came, not because the person left, because Bailey only goes quiet when she's scared. Whatever was at that back door scared a 70-pound German Shepherd into silence, and I still don't know what it was. My name is Garrett. I'm 34. I moved to Denver 8 months ago, alone. No family out here. No friends yet. Just a studio apartment and a job I took because it was the only offer. Night security at Ridgeline Storage. The facility sits on a dead-end road, east side of the city, right where the neighborhoods thin out and the plains start. Open land, nothing for miles. It's a big lot, over 300 units. Indoor hallways for the small ones, outdoor rows for the large ones, a guard booth at the front gate, and me. Every night from 7 to 7. My job was simple. Walk the rows every hour. Key the radio for check-in. Log anything unusual. Most nights there was nothing to log. The check-in was the same every shift. 8 p.m., 9 p.m., on the hour until 6 a.m. Each time I'd walk to the booth, key the radio, This is Ridgeline Night Watch Post 1 reporting in. All clear. 11 words. Same ones every hour. Same flat voice into the static. That phrase matters. Remember it. The main gate had an electronic lock. 4-digit code changed monthly. Only me and the property manager had it. Or so I thought. It was a Thursday in January. Temperature had dropped all day. By the time I clocked in, snow was already falling, light at first, then steady. Then heavy. By 9 p.m., everything was white. The rows of storage units looked different, softened, quiet. The snow muffled every sound. I could hear my own breathing, my boots crunching, the occasional creak of a metal door, shifting in the cold. I finished my 9 o'clock walk, radioed in, made myself coffee in the booth, and watched the snow pile up. The 10 o'clock round was when it started. I was walking row F, the outdoor units. Big rolling doors, padlocks on each one. The snow was about 3 inches deep, and there were footprints, fresh ones, not mine. They ran along the row, parallel to the doors, then turned left between 2 units, and stopped at the back wall. Dead end, no footprints coming back out. I stood there, flashlight on the tracks, snow falling into them, already starting to fill. "Hello?" I called. My voice sounded flat, swallowed by the snow. Nothing. I walked to the dead end. Nobody there, just the wall and the snow, and the wind pushing through the gap. I told myself someone had been here earlier, before my shift. The snow just hadn't covered them yet, but the edges were sharp, crisp. These were minutes old. I radioed in, logged it as a possible trespass. The office said they'd noted. That was it. 11 o'clock round. Row J. More footprints. Different row. Same pattern. Along the doors. Turning into a gap. Ending at a wall. My hands were shaking. Not from the cold. I followed them again. Same dead end. Same nothing. But this time I heard something. A metal door. Somewhere in the rows. Rolling open. Slow. That low grinding sound. Steel on concrete. I turned my flashlight toward it. Snow falling through the beam. Couldn't tell which row. "This is security," I shouted. "Identify yourself." The grinding stopped. Silence. Just wind. And snow. And my heart going hard. I didn't walk toward it. I went back to the booth. Called the main office. Told them I was hearing activity. They said a police drive-by would happen. Within the hour, I sat in the booth, watching the monitors. 6 cameras covering the lot, all of them just static white snow. Visibility almost zero. At 11:40, I saw movement on camera 3, row F, a shape, crossing between units, human-sized, moving slow, deliberate. I grabbed my radio. Ridgeline Night Watch requesting immediate assist. The shape stopped, turned toward the camera, and just stood there, facing it, like it knew I was watching. Then the snow thickened, and the shape disappeared into white. Police arrived at 12:15, searched the facility, found 1 unit with the padlock snapped clean off. Unit 217, rented to a man named Daniel Korsch, 3 months overdue on payment, reported missing in October. Inside the unit, a sleeping bag, food wrappers, water bottles, a battery-powered lantern, and a notebook. The officer showed me 1 page, and my stomach went cold. It was a log, dates, times, and a phrase repeated on every line. "This is Ridgeline Night Watch Post 1 reporting in. All clear." Every single one of my radio check-ins. 11 words, copied exactly. For 3 months, whoever had been in that unit had been listening to my schedule, timing my rounds, knowing exactly when I'd be in the booth and when I'd be walking the rows. They knew my patterns better than I did. The police said Daniel Korsch was still missing. The unit had been used by someone else entirely, someone who had the gate code, and had forced the padlock on Unit 217 to make it their own. They found more in the notebook. Notes about my route, which rows I checked first, how long I spent at each one, even what time I made coffee. I quit the next day. Didn't even finish the shift. They never caught whoever it was. Daniel Korsh is still missing, and that unit sat empty until the facility closed it permanently. But here's what still keeps me up. I started that job in October. The notebook entries started in October. First day, someone was already logging my movements from the very first night, which means they weren't watching the facility. They were waiting for whoever showed up, and I showed up alone every night for 3 months, and I never knew.